Yo guys, Crescent here. Welcome to my Magicka Nightblade build video. I would like to call this build Stinky Wizard because of the sets we'll be using. You're gonna debuff people a lot, and it's as you look at the screen now, this item sets are just so cool, man. Look at that helm, look at that body piece. That's so cool. That's why I love this set. Of course, it's not just cool; it's really effective as well. And usually how I like to run my Magicka Nightblade build is I use Necropotence, I amped up that max Magicka, I use willpower, use 2 monster sets, and then Maelstrom weapons and such. But for this build, I totally ditch Necropotence, and I'll be using two new sets, and yeah, and I'll show you later. So like usual, I will show you the item sets first, then I will go through the stat sheets, skills, and then CP. Alright, that's somebody just morning cap or something, whatever. Alright, I'll just go to the sets. We will be using Shackle Breaker. This is a crafted set. Why I decided to use this set is because I feel like if I use Necropotence, I can't. My max Magicka stamina is too low for me to be able to use Witchmother's Potent Brew. That's why I use these sets, and I use 2 tri-stat glyph on the body and the legs. So everything is impenetrable, and then we will be using 5 on the body. Everything is craftable. So 2 tri-stat glyph and then everything else Magicka. Everything impenetrable. Alright, so this is a 5-1-1 build, so we'll be using heavy body, light, everything else. And then for the helm and the jewelry, we will be using this set, Wizard's Repope's Hat. This set we'll be just using on the back bar, on the resto bar, because when we are playing defensive, when we take damage, crit damage, doesn't really matter if you are shielded or not, it will apply to enemy. So as long as that damage is crit, and then you will do minor mayhem on the enemy for 15 seconds. 15 seconds, that's very long. That's why I use it just on the back bar, so I can amp up my damage on the front bar, and then reducing their damage by 15% for 15 seconds, which is really awesome. This is one of those sets that it's really good on the back bar because the debuff lasts long enough for you to just use it just on the back bar. I will be using 1 hit, impenetrable as well. 3 jewelries. As you can look at the price, it's pretty cheap. It's 4k, 5k, 6k. It's really cheap. So you want to buy them. What I like to use is I use 1 reduced Magicka cost, 1 Magicka recovery, and 1 spell damage. You can use 2 reduced cost, but I prefer to use 1 recovery. Okay, so defending on the back bar, the resto stuff. This one you can buy in Vivek City at one of the merchant near the Battlegrounds area. The Battlecrown merchant, you can buy them. You need to invest a bit of gold, I would say, because you will get some random sets. I spent like about I was pretty unlucky. I spent about 30. I opened 30 box, only I got this, but depends on your RNG. But 30 box is just 300 AP, so 300k AP, so it's fine. 12k per box, so 360. And the front bar, you can use Master Inferno stuff, or you can use Maelstrom Inferno stuff. I think Maelstrom is slightly better, but Master is pretty good as well, I would say. And make sure it's sharpened, really important, and make sure it's Inferno stuff, because it's really single target for Magicka Nightblade, so you want to use Inferno stuff to amp up that damage. And one more thing is I'm a Dark Elf, so Inferno stuff will give me even more damage. You can use Lightning if you want, but I prefer Inferno no matter what. Alright. I'm gonna use Grofta on my shoulder, medium, so heavy chest, medium shoulder. Of course you can use a light shoulder and like maybe medium legs or something, it's up to you, but make sure you have 1 max Magicka monster stat on your shoulder or your head. And then your wizard repose should be either head or shoulder as well. Doesn't really matter though, you can switch it around whatever you like, just make sure you have 1 monster, shoulder or head, max Magicka. Alright, so I think, yeah, you want all the rings to be arcane. I think they only drop in arcane, so that's what you need. And let's get into the potions, poisons and everything. Like usually the poisons are just all the same. You can use cost increase, you can use the dot with cost increase. You can use double dot. Yeah, double dot is really good. I like this. I sometimes prefer this than cost poisons as well, because you can burn through people shields a lot better. Or you can use this one. I always like to use on the back bar. Applies a minor breach, so you reduce your enemy's spell resistance, and then you gain back the top part. You increase the cost of Magicka ability 30%. Okay, nothing special like usual, but you restore back 238 per second. That is about 400, give or take 460 Magicka recovery for 3.5 seconds. That is really awesome. That's why always use drain Magicka poison on your back. Another option is you can take away this poison. You can just use oblivion damage on the back bar, which is really good as well. So when you want to engage people, you do a light attack on the back bar, then you switch to your front bar and then do your combos and everything. That will work as well. But I just like to use this poison. I think it's really good, because nobody's gonna be kind to you in battlegrounds or in Citadel. You're gonna get poisoned every single time. So sometimes, again, tanky target, you really need to use it. No choice. Alright. But it's really up to you. And the food the drink we'll be using is Sheet Mundus Protein Build, as you know. I mentioned just now. Max Magicka, Max Health, Magicka Recovery. Really awesome. Alright. So what else? I'll go through the stats sheets now. So you can see how my stats are. Almost 40k Max Magicka. Really good. Remember, we are not using Necropotence, so that's why Max Magicka is not like 45k to 50k, but for 40k is really good, I would say. 23k health in Citadel, really high. Max Stamina is really decent as well, 14.5k also. And you look at our stats, raw stats on the recovery, 2k recovery, that is really high. 800 stamina recovery, you can do a lot of dot throw and everything. We are a vampire, and we are using the Sheet Mundus. You look at the crit, 52% crit with 2k recovery. That is crazy stats, remember. And remember that we are using a back bar, not leech back bar, and we are using a back bar like something like a debuff back bar, and you get these stats. It's really good. Spell damage is decent, I would say, 2k, really good. And we are a vampire, so we increase our max Magicka recovery and stamina recovery furthermore, because remember we are using Shackle Breaker set, so we get that tiny bit of increase of stamina recovery and Magicka recovery. That helps a lot. Alright, so yeah, crit resistance is pretty damn well as well, pretty damn good as well. Alright, what else? Okay, so we are done with the sets. I'll just go through the skills. Skills are really important. Okay, so there's a few options you can change around. I'll just go through the bar where I think it is fixed, almost fixed. You want to use Crippling Rust, your dot, your root as well. Remember always to put one skill from this bar, because you will get 8% max Magicka. So you need one of the skill on your back bar. Siphoning attacks is crap now. It's so badly nerfed. I tried it. It's, pardon my language, it's just garbage. It's pure garbage. Siphoning attack is just so bad now. Don't use it, in my opinion. It's not good enough. Yes, the health recovery per light attack, but the resource gain is so low, it's not worth it to use it anymore. Alright, so we'll be using Crippling Grasp on the back bar, get that 8% max Magicka. And then Shadow Image, yeah, this skill is the best. Dodge Zergs and everything, really important. Use Dampen Magic. You can use another morph as well, but I feel like there's quite a few of hard-hitting Nightblades, Stamina Nightblades, or even Stem Socks. That's why I feel like Harness. Yes, Harness is decent. I would say it gives you a lot of Magicka back against Magicka opponent. But for me personally, I prefer Dampen. But it's up to you. Okay, healing what when you're low in HP, you pop this, you heal back. Cloak, it's a lot better now. Yes, some things still will break Cloak, but I think most of them is now fixed, like 60%, 70%. So I think Cloak is good, in a good spot now. And your defensive heal skill, this is such a good skill. There are two morphs. I'll just go through it. What are the advantage of using the morph I'm using? The first morph is the Life Giver. The first one, you can read there. When activate this ability, you automatically cast Regen, Blessing of Protection, Steady Was at no cost. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's a burst heal, burst buff. But if you are playing with a friend, you look at the light champion, you will get major force. Okay, that is good because we got 50% crit. Remember, 50% crit on this build. Okay, so you will, that is without running inner light. So if you get this, you get a lot of crit, and then major force will do increased crit damage 15%, and you major protection applies to shield as well. That's why the 30% reduction is really good. I prefer light champions, but you can use light giver as well. Options are, you for the ultimate, you can use something like Soul Tether on the back bar. When a lot of people are jumping on you, you just pop the Soul Tether, but I personally prefer light champion. Okay, on the front bar, I was just now in Battlegrounds, that's why I have Soul Tether on the front bar, but usually I will run Shooting Star. There's a reason for it, because I'm a Dark Elf, so Shooting Star is a fire damage skill, that's why it's really high damage, 15.4k without any buff. So I think if you are a Dark Elf, run Shooting Star. If you are not a Dark Elf, there are a lot of good ultis you can run on the front bar. Soul Harvest is decent, very single target based. Soul Tether is decent as well, especially when a lot of people are jumping you, when you feel like the map is getting too zergy. Soul Tether is really good against melee target. And there's one more very nasty ultimate from, yeah, I don't have it morph sadly. I should really get it morphed though. So as now, look at the damage without any buff, 51k. Bear in mind that my CP, I didn't put anything into Thermal Church. If I put more into Thermal Church, that is going to increase up to like 55k unbuff easily, and reduce speed as well. It's really good. Just so as out is really good. Okay, so the ulti is done. Usually there's a flex spot here, Impale. I like to run Impale to finish off targets, but you can change to another skill if you want. But I will just go through the skills. Merciless Resolve, your bread and butter burst damage. I personally don't like the changes. You need to do light or 5 light or heavy attacks to get 1 proc, which is really sad because I feel like that every time I use this skill, I can only use it once, and then I'm under so much pressure, I have to reapply it again. The 20 seconds is gone already. So for me, I prefer the 4 light attacks to shoot it, but yeah, it's a nerf for me at least, but it's alright. You still have to use it because this is your only burst you have from skills besides your ulti. So also your typical heal, you can use another morph as well if you are playing with friends, but I like the minor vitality. Flame Reach, okay, there is something you can run like Fear. When you run Fear, you don't use something like Meteor. I'll prefer you use, it's really hard to say because Fear is AoE, but you are a range build. But when you're getting pounded by multiple enemies, you will feel that Fear is a lot better. But Flame Reach gives you that opportunity to surprise people very quickly. Like you charge up all your charges on your Merciless Resolve, you throw a meteor, you instantly Flame Reach, and then you shoot your Merciless Resolve, straight execute. That is what I like to do. But it's really up to you. You could use Fear as well, but you need to go into close range. That's all. It's a flex spot here for the CC. And Degeneration, I choose this morph because we are doing a lot of light and heavy attacks, so it will heal you back. That's why Degeneration, in my opinion, is better. And yeah, for the flex spot, Impale, you can run a lot of different skills. You want to be full defensive, run something like Double Take, get that major evasion, it's really good, get a speed. You could use something like Mark, really up to you. Or something really good is, there are 2 skills that I prefer over those that I mentioned. Elemental Drain, because you will get minor Magicka Steel, which is really good in something like Battlegrounds or in non-CP PvP. It's really important. Or you can run full burst on your other skills. You run Inner Light. Inner Light is really good as well. So it's really up to you. For me, I like the range execute, especially in Battlegrounds when you're doing that match, you know, and you see somebody is getting so low, you do charge up a heavy attack straight into Impale. It's really good, really cool. Alright, so that is about the skills. In a raid, I would say you can use a Mistform from the Vampire skill, and you can use maybe AoE like Destro on your front bar, anything you like. But this is, my build is a small scale build, so like 1 to 4, 5, 6 players, not more than that. So this is how I run, a lot more single target than AoE. Of course you can switch it around to your needs. Alright, so the skills are gone. I showed the stats already. I think I didn't miss out anything. Let's get straight into the CP then. Oh Okay, the CP. So Warlord, 13%. Put 31 points, get that 13% because I feel like it's just really important to put some points into break free and dodge throw, because as a Magicka build nowadays, I think that dodge throw is really good because you can get the unsnare, the D-snare from the dodge throw after dodge rolling for 2 seconds, so it's really good. Break free, of course you need it because you're break freeing a lot. You'll use tri-stat pots instead of the immovable pot. That's why I think Warlord is really important. Siphoner, I put about 10% into it just to decrease enemies' Magicka and stamina recovery. If you use poison, this will be really good because you reduce recovery and you increase cost. That is crazy. Arcanist, you want to get a 14%, 75 points. You don't want to go into 15% because that will cost a lot more. So 14% is the best spot for me. Tenacity, just a bit because this got nerfed, so I just put 15 points, get a 4% from the resto stuff. You get a lot of Magicka back. Tumbling, 37%, 37 points, get 15.1%. so you, like I mentioned, dodge throw is very important. I just decrease the cost of block just by a little because sometimes you might need to block. Alright, blessing, blessed, 6%, 23 points. Elfborn, I put 16%. I put quite a lot into Elfborn because of our crit, high crit. The build has a really high crit, so Elfborn is really important. And Elemental Expert, I just put 11% into it. Not a lot, not too little, because Master at Arms, this is where you want to spend a lot of points into. I put 23% into it. That's a lot, but imagine we are using we are using Meteor, that will get increased by Master at Arms. Merciless or your Swallow Soul, everything will get increased by this. Almost everything, besides your root dot. So Master at Arms is really important. I put some into Shattering Blows because for this patch, oh my god, there are so many sorcerers, Magicka sorcerers especially. You need to burn down their shields just for that single class. They have like 25k shields easily. If they run Necropotence, they have 30k shields. That's why you really need Shattering Blows, in my opinion. So I put 6% into it, 13 points. Staff Expert will weave in a lot of light and heavy attack, so 7% is nice. 2 into Thermal Church just to get 1%, that's all. And 14 to crit resistance. I put less into this is because we are running 7 impenetrable. So yeah, you don't need to invest a lot of points into this. Ironclad, 15% just to reduce direct damage, really important. 32 into Hardy, 23 into Elemental Defender. I put less into Elemental Defender because I feel that I get killed by a lot more by hard hitting Nightblades, or you know, like a stamina sword with really high damage. That's why I put more into Hardy. A bit into Thick Skin, 7%, and 81 points into Bastion, get that 24%. The max is 25, but you don't want to go to 25 because that 1% will cost you 19 points. That's why 81 is good enough. Quick Recovery, just to get 2%. This got nerfed really badly, so don't put a lot of points into Quick Recovery. For Magicka Nightblade build with shields, don't put a lot into Quick Recovery. Unless you are using heavy armor without shields, then you put more. Alright, so that's about it for the CP. I'll just go through how you play the build. It's more or less the same. If you know how to play Magicka Nightblade, it's the same. But I'll just repeat it, what I do. Alright, so basically you meet an opponent. What do you want to do? You want to buff up your first Merciless Resolve, and then you put your Degeneration, your 5th skill here. Degeneration. You buff up both. Okay. I'll just use the pot. Okay, let's say I buff up both already. You switch to a back bar. You light attack. You put your dot, your root dot. Oh, what is that name called? Crippling Grasp. Sorry, I can't remember. Crippling Grasp. You put your shade. You apply your shield. So you use 3 light attacks already. You put the front bar. You light attack again. Heavy at Swallow Soul, and then you CC them. Then the 5th light attack, you're gonna get your Merciless Resolve, and then before you use your Merciless Resolve, you usually, if you don't have your ulti, you charge up heavy attack, flame reach your CC, and then you merciless resolve straight into execute if you're in execute range. If not, if you have your ulti, you charge up heavy attack again like usual. You put up, you just, actually you don't need to charge up your heavy attack, you just do light attack, you throw down your meteor instantly. After you throw down your meteor, do a quick block to animation cancel, then throw your flame reach, CC them, and then your merciless resolve. That will do the highest damage possible, and then you straight go into execute. Of course, what you can do if you want to get even higher damage, you can wear them down to like 60-70% health. You can empower your ultimate. You use your degeneration again, the 5th skill, and then you throw your meteor, animation cancel the meteor really quickly, throw a 4th skill, your flame reach, CC them, and then throw your merciless resolve. That is possible if you're not under pressure, but if you're under a lot of pressure, make sure you shield on your back bar, you debuff that on your back bar with the wizard repose, and then you do a lot of shadow imaging, you snare them, and then the moment you get 5 hits, you change back to your merciless resolve, and then you do your combo. That is usually what you will do, because in real Citadel situation, nobody is going to give you time to use your combo one by one. You have to switch it around a lot, but this is how I use it usually. Alright, so yeah, I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, just type them in the comments below. I will try to go to every one of them if possible. And yeah, I hope you like the build, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't do so already, and give the video a like. That will be really appreciated because of the YouTube algorithm thing, so you need more likes, and the video will get shown to other people. So that's about it. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys in Citadel and Battlegrounds, and bye bye.